Welcome to the Generation Elevation podcast, a conscious, connected platform for those who are ready to manifest their dream life. I'm your host, Elise Riley, a former PT, now motivational speaker, igniting empowerment and transformation all across the globe. Here at Generation Elevation, we are committed to bringing you the most inspiring guests who will share their stories, wisdom, and advice to help you progress closer to living a life of your own terms.
Weight loss is just one of the goals that clients initially first come to me wanting help with. In the past, I was a personal trainer and nutritionist, and now I am a high-performance mindset coach. The reason I made that transition from personal training and nutrition to more so mindset and having that as the priority is because I realized that the resistance and the issues that were coming up for people wanting to lose weight was mainly down to their mindset. So today, if your goal is to lean up, tone up, to lose a few kilos, know that I have got you because I'm going to be teaching you how to lose weight physically, mentally, and spiritually. Maybe you have been on this journey for a while. Maybe you've tried on again, off again, and finding that potentially you just aren't seeing the results that you really would like to see. Maybe you find it hard to sustain these practices that you know you need to do in order to get to your goal. Maybe you're trying so hard to get to that goal. You're doing all the things and you're still not seeing results. Maybe you've just given up and think, well, is this even for me anymore? Like, what's the point of even trying if I'm trying so hard and still getting nowhere? I hear your frustrations. I hear you. I have been exactly where you are. And I'm going to share with you how not only myself in my journey lost 10 kilos literally from the work and the magic that I'm about to teach you, but how I've also helped hundreds of other people and clients do the same. This work is literally, like I said, magic. And I'm so excited to be able to share this with you today. So let's just start with my personal journey, and then at the end of this episode, I'm going to share with you some tangible tips to write down. So make sure you have your pen ready or get your phone out, write the notes down, because these are things that you do not want to miss. If you're new here to my channel, hello and welcome to the Generation Elevation podcast. It is a pleasure to have you here, and I am so grateful for every single one of you, whether you are new or whether you are an OG. I love you guys, and it is so amazing that I get to share my journey with you, and in turn this potentially can then help you and your community as well. Like, what an amazing gift that is. We're all elevating together as a community, and that just like makes my heart sing. So if you're still listening and you're like keen to learn how to lose weight, let's just start with my journey as a personal trainer, because for me, before I got into that industry, my goal was weight loss. I wanted to be toned, lean, have six-pack, toned glutes, nice arms. Like, I was a gym junkie, and I threw myself into the gym quite young, like 14, 15. For me, my first initial motivations being a young teenage girl was I just wanted to fit in. I had a stocky build. Everyone else was skinny around me, so I perceived at the time. And I made that mean that I didn't look good enough and therefore had to work to get what I wanted. There is so much societal conditioning around like what a beautiful person needs to be. And I really love this movement of body positivity and confidence these days. Like, it's really empowering. And back then, like, I didn't necessarily have that role model. And so for me, I just decided that I didn't like the way I looked and therefore needed to make a change. So my gym journey started, and I highly recommend that you do not do this, was like 3 hours in the gym every single day, literally eating absolutely peanuts, right? Not literally, but not very many calories at all to support my healthy growth and function as a teenage woman. This led to many other little health symptoms that were kind of indicating that I wasn't eating enough and I was over exercising at the time. So examples of this could be like I lost my period. I also would have like very brittle nails and hair. My skin was awful. I was suffering with a lot of injuries. Like I could barely walk at one point because my hip flexors were so cooked because I literally would be jumping around like a crazy lady for 3 hours trying to lose weight from my legs because I hated them at the time. My motivation for training was because I hated myself. Now, you might be listening to this resonating hardcore and know that you are not alone. There are so many people out there that train from a place of self-hatred and punishment. And I am here to tell you that that is not going to get you the body of your dreams, okay? It might work for a short period of time, which it did for me. And in the long term, this is not sustainable and it will manifest into greater illnesses and diseases in the body, which I then suffered myself. So let's fast forward a little bit because for me, I was training hardcore, eating less than 1,000 calories a day and thinking like this is me being healthy. And I got extremely skinny. And for me, like it's all part of my journey and I thank that time that I definitely wouldn't go back and change it because all of these experiences have shaped me to who I am today. And knowing what I know now, would like to share with you things that I kind of wish I knew back then or I wish that someone else would have told me because it would have made that journey so much more seamless and way more loving. Way more loving. So fast forward from there, I ended up competing on stage as a sports model competitor. I did that twice and I was so hard on myself. I didn't think that I looked good enough. I then got into patterns of binge eating where I would have cheat meals on the weekends and really restrict myself heavily during the week. I was consistently tracking and would get anxiety if I wasn't tracking every single bit of food that would go into my mouth. I would get anxiety if I didn't know what my family was cooking for dinner and we were having a family dinner. I would really get stressed if I didn't know what was coming next. And it was this control element of needing to know every single detail of what was going into my body. And at the time, like when you're competing, this is a necessary thing to do. Like I totally respect that sport and doing that is required for when you are in comp season. When you are not in comp season though, and you're just being like a teenage girl and a general population person, like you don't need to do that to get to where you want to be. And for me, I kept habits that were in comp prep that I didn't actually need in general day-to-day life. So this led to me absolutely gorging out on weekends. And whenever I ate out for dinner, I would overeat to the extent where I would feel very sick. So this kind of was like this pattern of one step forward, one step back. And maybe you felt this where you've started the new year on this high, new year, new me. I'm going to do all of the things that I need to do. I'm going to get into the gym. I'm going to start my diet plan. And maybe you started off with really great fast momentum towards that. You're hitting all your goals consistently. And then all of a sudden you've like dropped off the face of the earth. And it's like, oh, what about that goal that you mentioned at the start of the year? It's like, what goal? What are you talking about? I didn't say a goal. What are you talking about? So don't worry. I see you there. I see you there hiding and it's okay. Like I have been where you have been. Now, this pattern for me was very unconscious until I was heavily training clients and realized this pattern within them. If you've been listening to my podcast for a while, you'll know I talk about it all the time, that your reality is a reflection of you. The people that are in your experience are you. So whenever I have my clients come to me, I ask myself, how is that person me? Because if I heal that thing in me, then I therefore help facilitate that healing for the client. At the time of personal training, I did not know this. And so I had a lot of clients come to me, and there was 2 patterns that I noticed, which were a reflection of me that I didn't know at the time. The first pattern, and maybe you'll resonate with this, is it's like the 75 harders where they go all in for 75 days. They do the diet, they read the book, they do the journal, they do the sleep and the running and the steps and the training. And then all of a sudden, once that is up, they drop off the face of the earth, go back to exactly what they were doing before they started that challenge. I'm sure that you know somebody like this if it isn't yourself. The second pattern that I would notice within clients were the ones that would invest in me as a trainer. They would show up to client sessions, they would do the workout, have a lot of fun, they'd really want to lose weight, yet their results were plateaued because all the other hours of the day, they weren't really doing the things that they needed to do to get to where they wanted to be. For me as a trainer, this was so frustrating because I was like, I am studying my ass off to give you all the science-based knowledge that is up to date to be the best trainer that I can be to help you get the best results in the quickest time that is sustainable. So when my clients weren't necessarily getting that, and if you're listening and you're a past client of mine, know that I love you because you taught me this, right? Is that literally all of these people were reflecting back to me. And it made me wonder, okay, well, how is it possible to achieve these goals that you say you want to achieve? Why was everyone self-sabotaging the things that they wanted? And maybe you should ask yourself that. Why is it that you want this thing, but then do everything in your power to not achieve it? So for this podcast today, the topic is weight loss, but this can also apply for finances, right? You keep consistently hitting a money ceiling whereby you never go over, you never go under. And it's like you're always ending up in the same position. Why is it that keeps happening? Why is it that you keep attracting the same type of partner, toxic relationships or friendship groups? Why is it that you keep ending up in the same position, the same body weight? Why do you keep ending up there? The truth is that the personal training space, the nutrition space, was all leaf cutting. Now, what I call leaf cutting is basically imagine life as a big giant tree. The roots, okay, as the soil and the earth that the tree will grow from. And then we have the trunk coming up and then this beautiful big giant tree. If the tree has leaves that are starting to die, one would assume, okay, we just cut the leaves off and that will fix it. The truth is, if that tree has dying leaves, leaf cutting just ain't gonna work. We must address the soil of this tree, the root cause of the problem, because what's invisible creates the visible. Your body is a reflection of your subconscious mind. And so it is your mindset that must be the number one priority first for weight loss, for any physical result, because that is what will drive you forward or away from that first initial goal. So you might be wondering, okay, well, how do I lose weight by changing my mindset? And that is what I'm going to share with you today. So first of all, if you were to hear the word weight, if you're holding weight, right? A lot of clients that I work with and I take them through an emotional release process, the first thing that they say is that they feel lighter. They feel so much lighter. And it's like, funny that. Now, I look at different parts of my journey where I have been heavier than others and reflect on my mindset during those times. When I was feeling the most fearful, when I was feeling the most anxiety, I tended to hold more weight because I was trying to have like this protective layer to protect myself. I felt vulnerable and therefore found comfort in food. Now, you may resonate with this. Weight is an energy that we hold. And I was explaining to my client the other day, I feel called to say this, that most people can easily take a deep breath in, right? And I was taking her through her breath work. But then when I asked her to breathe all the way out and hold the breath, she found it difficult. And I said to her, most people can easily hold their breath because they're used to holding on to things. But then when you let everything go, it can feel uncomfortable, okay? Because it's the fear of it not being able to come back. And so I reflected that with money, but this is also the same with weight. When we are in fear, a lot of people will tend to breathe quite shallow and hold their breath. So what I want you to do right now is just take a deep breath in through the nose, get a full breath, and then breathe all the way out. Cool. And whenever you're feeling that tension, that weight throughout your day, just come back to that breath, okay? Now, the next thing that I wanted to go into is the patterning of self-sabotage, how that actually works in your brain so that you have an awareness and understanding of what is going on when you potentially do that or when your clients do that, so that then you can help them disassociate from the pattern and therefore recondition their brain to serve them towards their goal. So, for example, if one would like to lose weight and the self-sabotaging behavior is then to binge and not track your calories or not hit your targets every single day, you would then have to look at what is the pleasure from not achieving your goal. The subconscious mind is the part of our brain that is in autopilot, and this runs the show 90% of the time for most people. If you're over 30, I think the value is 95% of the time it runs the show. So you're in autopilot this amount of time throughout the day. You think about how much you think about, like that's like literally 5 to 10% of the time. So it's really important, the more aware of our subconscious mind that we become, the more in control we are of our patterns and our behaviors and what we create in our reality. So looking at the subconscious mind, this controls the show most of the time, and this will always go towards pleasure and away from pain. So if you're finding that self-sabotaging behaviors are showing up when it comes to taking action towards your goals, and this could even look like procrastination, feeling tired at specific times that you need to go to the gym. It could be just like not exactly hitting your macros or not exactly hitting your step targets every day. And so these little habits and behaviors are breadcrumbs of what's actually going on, potentially a deep initial fear that is pushing you away from truly achieving your goal. So if the mind's always going towards pleasure and away from pain, one would think that weight loss, the goal itself and achieving that, is going to be pleasurable, and then staying the same would be painful. Right? If you think about your goal, of course, we believe each goal that we have will make us feel better in the having of it. At the same time, if these behaviors are coming up within you, what is going on is that your subconscious mind has attached pain to that potential achieving of the goal. So, for example, this could look like achieving that goal means to you that you have to sacrifice time, energy, money. You might have to sacrifice family dinners, and then the mind could make that mean, well, then if I sacrifice family dinners, I'm not fitting in with the rest of the family. They're going to make comments and judge me, and therefore I'm going to feel isolated and an outcast. And if I'm an outcast, then I don't have anywhere to belong. And then if I don't belong, then I'm lonely and I'm unloved. And you can see how this can spiral. And a lot of people have this deep fear of feeling unloved. And so will do anything to feel love, even if that means not achieving your goals. Think about the conditioning that we have grown up around, the TV advertisements and newspapers and media that teach us that in order to feel love, we must buy XYZ product. Because if you want to manifest a soulmate, if you want to fit in and be cool and be healthy, then you've got to have this, right? And so our brains can be wired to think and believe that if we go and do the things that we want to do, we're letting go of the idea that we need to fit in and belong, which is so ingrained in our system, especially like from caveman days, to have groups and tribes coming together, because if you were a lone wolf, it was more dangerous to be by yourself. So you can see how self-sabotage starts to play out when there are all these fears attached to that goal. I'm going to give you another couple of examples here. Now, just a little bit of a trigger warning, because I am going to talk about sexual abuse just briefly. What I have noticed between a few clients that have come through my programs is in their past have experienced some form of sexual trauma. And because of this, soon after put on a lot of weight, okay? They have a lot of weight on their body that they are carrying. And so when we start to release these past traumas from their childhood, okay, what tends to happen is their weight loss journey commences and they go past those plateaus that they were experiencing. And this is because sometimes the subconscious mind will associate being attractive or being seen to being more vulnerable. So if you've experienced something in your past, right, where you felt very vulnerable and very seen, and had an experience whereby being attractive or seen as attractive has then led to something that hasn't felt good and felt bad in your system. I don't mean to say that, but it's more so that hasn't felt good in your system. Then what can happen is the brain will associate being attractive and being seen as a bad thing, and therefore will do everything in its capability to keep you away from being seen, feeling attractive and feeling good about yourself. Because if that is the case and that's what happened in your past, your brain is protecting you for potentially letting that happen again. So if this is you and you resonate with this, or you know someone that resonates with this, the first thing would be to create awareness around that past experience and release that through proper coaching or therapy, and therefore allow yourself to then go on that healing journey to help you then recondition your mind to know that it is safe to look good, to feel good, and to be seen. I'm also going to do another episode on projections and perceptions. I have done one before, but I feel that it's relevant to do again. However, comparison, I will just say this. For me personally, I went through a phase of being so terrified to be seen that I stacked on like 10 kilos plus, because I was so scared that by losing weight, I would be so beautiful and attractive and therefore outshine people that I loved and cared about. I had friends in the past that when I would fully decide to step into my light, they would feel threatened and triggered, and therefore my brain made that mean by stepping into my light, it was a bad thing. So therefore I decided it would be safer to feel unseen, to hold on to energetic weight, and therefore not step into knowing that I am attractive, so that I could still be loved by my friends. I made myself small just so I could fit in. And I share this with you because I know that there will be many out there that resonate hardcore with what I'm saying right now. If this is you, know that I have so many episodes on this show that can help you out. And if you want a deeper service that is more one-on-one and tailored to you, I have also one-on-one coaching available, which you can access via just messaging me in the DMs or sending me an email at admin@generationelevation.com.au. Then we have spiritual weight, which is the energy that we can experience when we're feeling quite scattered, when we're feeling heavy. Like if we're in that overthinking mindset, it decreases your vibration and therefore we can feel low and slow and just lethargic, apathetic, right? So the key to elevating spiritually, feeling lighter spiritually, and helping you lose weight in general is to literally elevate your vibration so that you're feeling more in joy, more in love, because when you are in that, you will attract that. You cannot attract fit and healthy if you are feeling fat and shit about yourself, okay? It is energetically impossible. The key here is to change the way you think and speak to yourself, because as soon as you do that, you will then notice this outside of you. So usually the people that are most hard on themselves will have this reflected outwardly via their physique and their body. So if you genuinely care and love for yourself, your body will give back to you in the way that you deserve, okay? You deserve to look good. You deserve to be amazing because you are. So it's a matter of owning your light. And the way that I personally did this was literally meditating every day, journaling, and practicing speaking kindly to myself. So if you want to write notes, those 3 things for losing weight spiritually would be to meditate every single day, which I have guided meditations on my website if you need help with that. Journaling, and then speaking to myself kindly, words of affirmations of things that I wanted people to say about me, saying loving things about myself to myself. Mentally, if you're wanting to lose weight, it would be going back to past experiences that have caused these deep fears within you around your goal and being seen and losing weight and addressing them. So if you achieve your goal, what is the worst case scenario? And let the first answer come to your mind. What is the deep fear within you that is stopping you from achieving that goal that you want to achieve? Could it be that if you achieve that thing, you step into your power? And what then would be the worst case scenario about stepping into your power? Could it be that by stepping into your power, you outshine others, potentially make others feel uncomfortable, potentially no longer fit in anymore, potentially having to let go of your past and your identity of who you once were? There's so many things that it could be, and I want you to just trust the first answers that come to your mind when you reflect on this, okay? Because that will be it. If you need further help, there is also my content all over social media, and also if you're wanting one-on-one coaching, just feel free to message me, okay? And then lastly, how to lose weight physically, okay? Because this can all be great and woo-woo, but it is really important to know that it is, to lose weight, you must be in a calorie deficit. And so what does that actually mean? It means eating less energy than what you are exerting every single day. The way that you would calculate this is to figure out your basal metabolic rate, which you can go onto a calculator online, look up Harris-Benedict formula and type in your data, your height, your weight, your age, and this will give you a rough estimate of your basal metabolic rate, which is the calories and energy that you need for your body and systems to function efficiently. So your breathing, your heart rate, and to stay alive. your basal metabolic rate, I'm pretty sure with the calculators online, will multiply this with your physical activity level. Now, this can range from like 1 to like 2 or 3. Don't quote me on that. But usually from me, I would say my activity level throughout the day is about a 1.5. And I'm on my feet, I'm active. However, I'm not like in a laborious job where I am walking up and down stairs every day and need to times it by like 1.8 to 2. So if you are in a sedentary job, I would recommend multiplying your basal metabolic rate by like 1.1 to 1.2, and this will give you a rough estimate of how many calories you would burn every single day from just like fidgeting and just doing like the bare minimum, okay? From there, depending on how much exercise you do throughout the week, so let's say you do 3 gym sessions a week and you track that on your watch, okay, you will be able to see how many calories roughly you burnt. And I would, if your goal is weight loss, like underestimate that just because watches can be slightly inaccurate. And then from there, you'd add all of these numbers together. Once you've added everything together, you'll have a rough idea of your maintenance calories. And your maintenance calories are literally the calories or the energy that you must consume to maintain your current body weight. Now, if you're writing notes and you really want to know how to do this, to lose 0.45 kilograms per week, you must be in a 3,500 calorie deficit for the week. So that means if you were to get your maintenance calories and times that by 7, take away 3,500, you would then have your weekly deficit calories. Now, the way you allocate this per day will depend on your lifestyle. If you do the same shit every day, that's great. You can divide that number by 7 and eat the same thing every day, and that will be easy for you. That will be your deficit calories for now. Or if you like eating more or less on certain days, whether you like to eat more when you train or like to save more calories for the weekends to be more flexible, that is another option as well. And you can divide that however you like by 7. Okay. So this will give you a rough estimate of your weekly deficit calories. Now, start with this for a few weeks and just track your data, track your steps as well, but also track your body weight and see how that fluctuates throughout the month. If you are a female, this will obviously go up and down definitely because of your cycle. So give yourself 30 to 60 days just to get into a rhythm with how your body works and your cycle. But you should see a trend going downward. If this is not the case and you have hit your calories every single day, I would start to look at, okay, what are the macronutrients of these calories that you're eating? I'm not going to go into too much depth because I don't want to make this a super numbery podcast. If you are wanting that, let me know and I can create a separate episode with more numbers on this. I'm literally free flowing from the top of my head right now and I'm so impressed with myself. But if you want a more numbery podcast, I can do that for you easy. I'm also writing a book about this. So if you can be patient, this will be in your hands very, very soon, okay, with all the data there to help you. But essentially, what you can do is I would prioritize making sure you're getting enough protein each day. That would be my second tip. First tip, calculate your calories. Second tip, get enough protein. And what that looks like, if you want to track, it could be 1.2 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. That's the general gist, okay? If you're like, what the hell are you talking about, Elise? I would just say, make sure you just have a serve of protein with each meal that you have. And that could look like any sort of meats or tofu if you're vegan, beans, eggs, Greek yogurt, coconut yogurt. Okay, having a serve of protein with each meal is the general gist and will help you increase the thermic effect of food that you're consuming, and therefore you'll burn more energy digesting as well. So that can help with your deficit. It can also help with feeling full and make your program sustainable long term so that you're not feeling super hungry because you've just loaded up on lots of carbohydrates, which are quite fast digesting, okay? There is no good or bad food, so please get that out of your head. It depends on the context. So if you're in a weight loss phase, you can eat whatever you want. But if you ate literally like all of your calories worth of just ice cream, you're going to feel pretty shit pretty quick, okay? So it's important to make sure you're getting enough fiber each day, making sure you're eating enough fruit and vegetables and having at least one serve of each thing every single day, drinking enough water, and you will know by the color of your pee. Like, it's super simple, guys. Like, being very blunt here, if you can master all those things, like, I guarantee you will be well on your way to losing weight and going towards that body of your dreams, okay? The first thing first is to make sure that you feel fit and healthy and loving within yourself, because trust me, getting the body isn't going to give you that confidence and love that you need. The confidence and love must come first, because that will then make this process and this journey so much easier. That is how literally moving to London and this whole like last year, I dropped weight so quickly and became incredibly like muscular, strong and lean and extremely happy without having to restrict myself and punish myself, because I started training from this place of love and this place of fun, that it became so easy. And now I'm like, holy shit, for the first time in my life, I am content with the way that I look. I'm not pinching my skin and thinking like, oh, you know, like I have my days, of course. And at the same time, like, I feel fucking amazing, and I just want to be able to gift that to you all. So if you enjoyed this episode, please let me know. And if you try any of these tips out, I want to hear your experience. I want to see those transformation photos. And if you like more episodes like this where I could go into muscle gain and performance and things like this, let me know. I want to be giving you what you want to hear and need. Like, this is community, right? And if you have a question, know that I will answer it. And if I don't know the answer off the top of my head, I'm going to go find it out for you. I love you all so, so much. Thank you for being here on my show. Go smash those goals. You've got this. Much love, and see you in the next episode.
Thank you for being a part of the Generation Elevation community. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to leave a 5-star rating, written review, share, and tag me on Instagram at elise.riley. Until next time, keep loving, keep learning, and keep rising.